Hello, I'm Donald Leggett. Welcome to the latest London South East CEO interview. I'm joined today by Dr. Simon Ward, CEO, and Tim McCarthy, Chairman at Incanthera, an Aquis-listed stock which specializes in a platform of cancer treatments. Welcome, Simon and Tim. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much, Donald.
It's a pleasure, Donald.
Tim, these are your first results as a listed company. Are you happy with progress?
Yes, we're delighted with progress. Your viewers may know that we floated by new IPO onto the Aquis exchange in February this year. So this is our first set of results as a public company. And we've seen tremendous progress this year, which is, I'm sure, something which Simon will touch on in a few moments in terms of the operation progress. But through a very good communications policy, which we have, and getting the news out there, the shares are reacted very positively, and we've built up a very good following. So yeah, we're absolutely delighted.
And if you could give us a brief overview of the company for those less familiar.
Yes, of course. The company is 10 years old, and it was originally spun out of the Institute of Cancer Therapeutics on the Bradford University campus. So if you take Institute of Cancer Therapeutics and squash it up, then the name becomes Incanthera. So not very difficult. And the institute itself is a dedicated building facility for cancer research. It has about 50 researchers and support staff. And we have a very special arrangement with the Institute. And so about 10 years ago, Simon was asked by the university to advise on how to start to commercialize some of the research which the Institute was developing. And the solution to that was a spin-out company, which is ourselves, Incanthera. And as part of that arrangement, there's a piece of technology, our very first product developed actually, was brought into the company. We acquired it. And then Simon did a very clever thing at the time. He said to the university, well, if we need to establish a company such as Incanthera, we can't do it with one product. So what we'd like to do is have a pipeline agreement with you such that we get a first right or first look at anything that you're doing in the area that we're focusing on. And so that pipeline agreement, which we recently renewed, goes for about another 10 years. And so out of that, we have built the portfolio, as well as additional products from outside as well. So if anybody was to look at our website and look at our portfolio slide, they'd see a range of different products which we are developing.
And what's the portfolio? Very briefly, what does it consist of in terms of cancer treatment?
Okay, so the theme of the company is very much targeted medicines in the oncology field. So what we're looking to do is to make sure that we deliver those medicines in the most efficient way in order to get the efficacy which we're looking for the patient, and also in the most safe way as well. So the way that the particular drugs work in the body have a way of achieving that, which a lot of oncology drugs can't, just because of the way they operate. And I'm sure your viewers will appreciate that taking any oncology drug is a very difficult course of treatment, and very often there are many side effects, and they're more or less effective in terms of treating the patient and the cancer, depending on how early that cancer is detected. So what we're trying to do is take all of those difficulties that patients face in the oncology field and address them one by one, the efficacy and the safety.
So I'm fairly safe to assume there's a very large market for these drugs.
Absolutely, yes. But we're quite specific. So the aims of the company are to bring benefit to patients, clearly, and deliver medicines which are more effective than we currently have, and clearly are safer. And in turn, in doing what we can to assist patients, then from a financial or investment perspective, then the market for these drugs is clearly enormous. So if we get it right, then clearly we will have it right not only for patients, but we'll have it right for our investors as well.
And over to Simon. Talk us through the leading drug in the pipeline, which I believe is called Sol. What is Sol, and does it have the potential to generate some quick revenues for you, do you believe?
Oh, we do believe so. It's all very exciting, actually. As Tim mentioned, we are interested in finding solutions to actually getting drugs to a cancer and then having them activate at the cancer site and protecting the rest of the body from, what could otherwise be quite nasty effects, which is part and parcel of cancer chemotherapeutics. And SOL actually is designed to try and address this sort of the skin cancer challenge. So we're really talking about skin cancer here. And I think we're all very much aware these days of skin cancer and the potential dangers. We might not be totally aware of how bad it is. Over the last 10 years, we've seen a 45% increase, for instance, in melanoma, which is one of the skin cancers that's obviously particularly dangerous. And this is quite scary. It's quite scary because not just in the precipitous rise, but it also seems now to be a disease that's targeting younger and younger people. So as a dermatologist, we normally say skin cancer, any type of cancer that's induced by UV radiation actually is generally seen in the older age because you just have more and more exposure, so you're more likely to catch the cancer. But now we're seeing that shift to becoming much earlier. And this is quite a scary sort of problem. So in my past, I've worked in a dermatology company, and I've had the great fortune to work with some of the UK and the world's best topical formulators. And I got a call from one of those who said, who's now retired, but has still been working in the field. He's a professor. And he said, look, I've got something really interesting here. We've managed to solve a problem of delivering a particular agent that actually has consistently confounded the industry. And this agent is known to actually treat and prevent what we call solar keratoses. And solar keratoses are the first sign of a skin cancer, if you like, that's arising from UV irradiation. It's a precancerous area. It's very obvious, and it's probably one of the most common skin conditions that we see that's caused by irradiation. And in fact, I think the statistics is around 25% now. So 1 in 4 men are actually coming out with the solar keratoses, and 20% of those will transform into a cancer. Scary stuff, actually. But we have this known active, and it's been out there for a long time, and it's been through clinical trials, and we know that this can actually treat and prevent these solar keratoses, but we can't use it at the moment because to actually get enough into the body from an oral perspective, you have to eat bucket loads. Whereas our topical formulator has said, well, look, we can take this magic ingredient and we can put it in a very technically challenging formulation that will actually push through the skin this particular active and deliver it to a cancer where it is actually needed and save the body from general exposure to this particular ingredient at the same time. And
in terms of clinical trials, has SOL done well?
SOL's done extremely well. So over the past 6 months, we've been delighted with what we've been doing. We've put it into both an efficacy test and into a safety test, which of course are the two big things. Does it work? Is it safe? And it's come out covered in glory. Actually, it's exceeded our expectations to some degree. In the efficacy test, we not only achieved and exceeded what we call bioequivalence. So in other words, we can deliver the right amount, if not more than what you would have done if you would have taken these bucket loads of pills. But also when we compared it with some competitors, so some other topical products in the marketplace, we've beaten them hands down. So really, really pleased by that, clearly. And in terms of safety, which, is obviously extremely important, we've put it through a formal safety testing trial now, and it has come out ranked equivalent to baby cream. So this is a cream that everybody would be happy putting it on their baby's skin, which of course is the most sensitive skin you can think about at the moment. So again, wonderful news for us.
Okay, next steps for SOL. Are you looking for a commercial partner? I understand you may be in talks with a potential commercial partner to take SOL forward to commercialize it.
We are definitely looking to commercialize SOL at the moment, and we have a number of parties that obviously conversations are going on behind the scenes, whilst the data room is getting bigger and bigger and more exciting.
Would it be possible to give you to give the viewers a certain time frame over the length of those talks? How soon before we hear something, and then how soon beyond that before you can actually before it is revenue generating?
Yeah, I think it's difficult, obviously, and we can't really put a finger on a specific timing. Negotiations are negotiations, as you know, and particularly in this industry, they take their time, and we want to be sure we get the right negotiation and the right deal. But we came to market with a promise of 18-month window from actually listing. So that's something that we're sticking to at the moment.
Okay, and over to Tim. Funding. I understand you've recently raised some more funds. Talk us through that and tell us about your funding needs going forwards.
Okay, well, picking up actually just where Simon left off, we came to market in February, with two statements really. One was that we would look to develop Sol through and commercialize it with a commercial partner within 18 months. And in order to do that, we raised money at the time of the IPO. And we also took some subscriptions for later investment in September this year. So in total, we've raised 1.2 million, but just recently we completed those subscriptions for £350,000. So 250,000 of that was from one of our major shareholders, Invi Pharma, which is showing great support from another company in the industry that obviously clearly knows what we're doing very, very well. And I'm pleased to say that the other 100,000 was from myself and the rest of the team. So everyone invested. As we did in the IPO, in fact, so a total of £350,000 in total through the IPO and just recently in September from the team. So I think that the phrase that one uses in those sort of circumstances is that we are perfectly aligned with our shareholders' interests, absolutely, and we always will be. And we're driving the company forward to meet all the objectives that we set ourselves at IPO and we promised.
Now, I understand you've moved up a tier on the Aquis growth market. Is that because the share price has been reacting positively to all these the clinical results coming through around Sol?
Well, firstly, let me say we're absolutely delighted to get the new designation into the new Apex market. As your viewers may know, Aquis have been developing the market very, very well in the last 12 months or so. And I think we joined the market just at the right time. We're delighted with the way that the relationship with the market is going, the team there. And further to consultation with the market generally and companies on the market, including ourselves, they have taken the feedback from consultation, and part of that is to split the market, the Aquis market, into two. So there's the Aquis market, sorry, the access market, I should say, which is for the younger, smaller companies, and then the Apex market, which we've been designated onto, is for the slightly larger and growing companies. And I believe if I got the numbers right, it's about 25% of the companies on the Aquis market are in the Apex market, and the remainder are in the access market. And it's not just a matter of size. If you look at the criteria for joining the Apex market, one is size. There needs to be a minimum market capitalization of 10 million. So yes, to answer your question directly, because we've had such fantastic operational results with Sol particularly, that has driven the share price upwards to a point where we're 100% share price appreciation from when we floated. So that has taken us clearly through the 10 million market capitalization value. But it's not just about that. It's also, there is a requirement that the company is set up with 2 market makers, that it has independent research, and a number of other things which demonstrate the company is very well established. And I think that's as important as just a market capitalization. So we very much tick all those boxes. We've set ourselves up in that way from day one. So whether we were a 2 million market cap, 10 million market cap, or 20 million market cap company, we would still tick all those boxes for the Apex market. So yes, we are absolutely delighted, and we hope it's a springboard for the future.
And my final question to Tim, why should investors invest in your company? A quick summary for me, please.
Well, I guess you ask any chairman or CEO of a company that question, and they're always going to say, because we're undervalued and we've got lots of future.
That is the standard answer, yes.
Okay, well, let me try and develop that point. As you heard Simon say, we've got some really exciting potential going with Sol. And I know Simon very deftly dodged the question on a time, but we're certainly looking to move Sol on in terms of its commercialization in 2021. So just that in itself is a major step forward for us as a company and Sol as a product. And then we've got lots of other ideas in terms of developing the company further than that. We're not just going to sit on our laurels, I think is the expression, or the polite expression. We've got lots and lots of ideas of how to develop the company further and take it to a much larger company with a much wider portfolio of products, and that's all in the pipeline. Is about all we can say at the moment, I think, Simon, isn't it? But lots of exciting things to come. Yeah.
Okay. Let me end it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, gentlemen. Thank you to Simon Ward, CEO, Tim McCarthy, Chairman at Incanthera. Thank you very much for the operational update. It was very useful. And to see more interviews like this one, you can follow us on Twitter at London Southeast and at Donald Leggett. I'm at Donald Leggett. And you can subscribe to the London Southeast YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and do stay safe.